So my name is Carlyle, and I am the recruitment manager looking after Southeast Asia. Just to give you a brief introduction of myself. And UWA College, it's actually the college for University of Western Australia. So we'll walk you through a bit more to know more about University of Western Australia, in short UWA. And so first of all, UWA is located in Perth, and for those of you who don't know where Perth is, it's in Western Australia. It's a very diversified community, or in terms of population. As you can see here, 37% of the people from Western Australia is actually, most of them are born overseas, so 37% of them. And we have a very good mix in terms of nationality. Over 190 countries of people is actually currently based in Perth. So it's very diversified in general. And if you can see here, for those of you who watch Marvels, you probably know who is Thor. Chris Hemsworth is actually from Western Australia. And beside Chris, it's our star. It's called the Caucus, and they are only available, or you will only see them in Western Australia, and quite a number of them in Perth specifically. So, and there's just a lot of things to offer in terms of the city itself, Perth itself. And just to give you a rough idea, Perth is actually shares the same time zone as Malaysia, and it's one of the closest in terms of Australia. City is one of the closest to Malaysia, to home. So let's say if your parents miss you, they can just hop on a direct flight and to find you in Perth at UWA. And there's just a lot to explore in Perth, in Western Australia, in terms of whether it's outdoor or the CBD itself. So just to give you a glimpse of Western Australia, perhaps one day you'll be able to visit all of this place. And one of the very benefit point for students to study in Perth, it's really the cost of living. I know some of the students, they might be aiming to go to Australia, but Melbourne and Sydney is usually the more popular city that students aim to study in, or to live. But actually the living expenses is quite high. In fact, it's very high in Melbourne and Sydney, and compared to Perth, it's one of the more affordable, more cost-effective city for students especially. And it's been voted one of the most livable Australian city, in fact. And just to give you a rough idea, like the cost in terms of the living expenses per month, if you are staying on campus, usually you spend about 2,500 per month. That's the overall cost, like that's the total amount that you will be spending. And if you're staying off campus, normally the bedrooms are slightly more affordable, so the living expenses can go down to 1,700. Now, again, this price as compared to Melbourne and Sydney, you would see a big gap, a big difference. And traveling in Perth is quite convenient. And for our students, let's say if you are studying with UWA, you actually will be able to, will be eligible to go on to the Purple Cat bus that runs from the city to UWA, or from UWA to city. And for all other public transport, you will also get a 40% discount. And for students that study or decide to, you want to work part-time in Perth, you are allowed to work up to 48 hours per fortnight. So it's every 2 weeks, you can work up to 48 hours. And during your semester break, you can actually work unlimited. And the minimum wage is quite high for Perth students, or students like minimum wage for Perth in general. And on top of that, one thing to highlight is that students are allowed to apply for post-study work right after you graduate. And as compared to other cities, if you are studying in Perth, you actually get an additional year of post-study work visa, right? So that allows students to have a longer stay in Australia, to give you more time to look for a job, to secure a job or placement in Perth. Okay. And Also, to give you a rough idea, some students might not be aware of it, like Perth is a growing and developing city. There's a lot more opportunity as compared to students being in Melbourne and Sydney because it's just so congested, so competitive, whereas Perth really offers more growth opportunity, and it's currently home to more than 100 resources and energy companies and 8 of the world's largest out of 8 of them, out of 14 of them, 8 of them are the world's largest international and energy and mining companies. And a third of Australia ASX listed company, it's also based in Perth, which in short, there's just a lot more work opportunities for students, whether you are doing a placement year or after you graduate, looking forward to your post-study work visa placement. This would allow students to have more opportunity, okay? And these are some of the in-demand career. Like some of you might ask, I'm not sure what I want to study. What's the most popular career choice or high demand in terms of job prospect? These are some of it. And it range between engineering to finance to accounting, to data science to cybersecurity and etc. And all of this career profession, most of the degree in terms of subject ranking, UWA do quite well in terms of subject ranking for some of the majors, okay? And why do students come to UWA or University of Western Australia? It's very much for our reputation because UWA is one of the top 100 university in the world, 70 in the world to be exact, and they are one of the group of 8 members. And we currently have 7,900 students enrolled with us, international students, okay? And we have award-winning teachers that have won the Nobel laureate, and he himself is a UWA grad. And for some of you, I know it should be more than a degree in terms of your university life. So there's tons of things to do at UWA outside studying. For example, there's over 150 clubs and society. So in terms of student experience, UWA has been voted as #1 in Australia for campus events and activities. So there's a lot that's happening. It's very vibrant, a lot going on for our students. At the same time, we are one of the world-class institutions that offers, world-class facilities from the trading room to the labs. And I have a campus video here. There might be a little issue with the audio, but it's quite interesting because I have a very good host that will bring you through to visit the campus. So off we go. That's Perth, one of the very prominent Perth landmark.
It's a shame that we can't hear the voice, the sound.
Thank you. So that's a small tour for UWA. It's a lot bigger, a lot of places that we didn't have enough time to slot in. And but another one of the key highlight or specialty for UWA, it's really our study plan. Now, in the past, like career in the past, maybe our parents or our grandparents or another generation, in the older generation, students maybe they study at a university for a single major and they probably work the same career until they retired. For example, the same job until they retire, or the same major, like same business major related in business industry. But because now in this generation or in the future generation, there are so many other careers opportunity, and students today are estimated to have at least 5 different career that cross their mind. Maybe for yourself, you are not sure yet. Do I want to do finance, engineering, or teaching? But student today, there's so many options, and there will be even more new careers that arises. So how do an institution help to solve this issue? Like for instance, you can't be studying 5 bachelor degree in your lifetime, or it will take a long time. It's possible, but it will take a very long time. But how UWA come out with it is to have the solution, which is with an interdisciplinary degree or a study plan, so that student can have more flexibility in terms of choosing your major and to explore more majors. For example, I have an example study plan here, and this is across a completion time of a bachelor degree. Normally it's 3 years. So this study plan is for example, this student wants to do marketing as the first major. And in Australia, it's very common for student to opt for a second major. And it depends on what degree they have opt for. Some majors or some degree, some bachelor only offers a single major, but most of them offer student to have a second major opportunity. So let's say this student opt for marketing, and in marketing, you do some foundation units that's related to marketing. But on top of that, you have a small interest in, let's say, psychology. So you can opt for psychology as your second major. But this will be a Bachelor of Commerce with psychology, but not as a Bachelor of Psychology. Okay, this is just like your second major. And on top of that, student, it's allowed to have some electives. Okay, elective units is like, you know about this major, but you're not quite sure whether you want to, further into this career pathway. So you just take it for interest purposes, for example. And by first year with UWA, you would have the opportunity to touch on at least 3 major. So for whatever reason, maybe your data science, you score better, or maybe the job demands is moving towards IT, towards data science. And should you, like, for example, if you want to change your major for your second major, it's still possible before the beginning of your year 2. Okay, so that's a flexibility that we offer, as you can see here. But by saying that, there are some comprehensive degree that don't allow students to have 2 majors. For example, engineering is a professional degree, and usually engineering it's 4 years degree, and it's very comprehensive. Student, if you want to do engineering but with a small elective, that's fine. So you can have major and you can change your elective in your year 2. So that's the flexibility around it. But if it's not a professional degree, like if it's not engineering or psychology, then for other majors, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Arts, you can still opt for first and second major, and you can still change your plan, your study plan. So that's a flexibility around UWA. So for SPM student, what's the pathway to get into a university? Because there's a gap from SPM, you can't go directly to the first year of the bachelor degree. This is where UWA College steps in, okay? So why study at UWA College? Ultimately, it's for you to progress to UWA. It will be an on-campus pathway. From day one, you will be a UWA student. You have access to the facilities, and you will be already embedded to a university learning experience. And this is where UWA College is situated. It's right at the heart of the campus. It's on campus. Again, you will have access to all the facilities. And for our courses, essentially, we have two pathways. So for SPM student, you are looking at foundation. We also offer a diploma program, which is the equivalent of the first year of the bachelor degree. Okay, so for foundation, it's mainly for students like yourself from SPM. There's a gap year, we call it a pre-U. So you do need to complete your foundation, then you progress to UWA. And for students that let's say you are thinking you're not sure yet, like whether you want to do your foundation overseas. So diploma program, it's for students that didn't do well in their A levels, then they will come for a diploma program. One of the good things to do a foundation program is that because you are doing the UWA syllabus foundation, the grade required from foundation to year one, it's a lot more easier to achieve, which I will share with you later on. Okay, so what are the requirements for the foundation program? There is two duration in terms of the foundation program. I will share with you the SPM requirements shortly, but just to give you a rough idea. So there is actually three intake per year for the foundation program. That's February. I didn't include February because February has passed. So there's June and October intake currently that we offer. And depending on your grades, whether you are eligible to join 8 months or 12 months of the foundation program. And then, of course, there's the diploma program for students who have completed a pre. So from SPM, if you get 20 score across 5 subjects, then you will be joining the 12 months program. But if you get 15 or less, then you'll be eligible to join the 8 months program. Now, how do you calculate the score? Remember, in the previous years, SPM was graded as A1, A2, B3, B4, C5. So it's based on that grades. So it depends on the total score of your grades, like from your SPM. And one thing to take note is that we look at academic subjects. English is considered as academic subjects, but not Bahasa and not Chinese. Okay. So you choose your best 5 subjects, and then when your counselor help you to apply, they will be able to know whether you're eligible to join 8 months or the 12 months program. And on top of that, supposedly there's an English requirement. So the English requirement also depending on your results, whether you're eligible to join the 8 months or the 12 months. But for SPM student, there's a good news. You are able to waive your IELTS requirement or your English requirement using your SPM CEFR. So you can refer to CEFR section, but you do need to achieve an overall grade of B2 and above. Okay, so no bands must be less than B2. If you have not achieved B2, then you will have to sit for the IELTS, the English test, in order to join the foundation program. And for those of you, let's say you've set for your IELTS and you didn't meet the requirement, there is also an English course that's available that you can package with your foundation program. So you don't need to retake for your IELTS. You can just start the English course right away at UWA. So it allows you to go to UWA much earlier as well, instead of sitting for another IELTS test. Maybe you do just need a little bit more help with your English test or English grade, okay? And let's say once you apply and you're very interested to join UWA, how to confirm your offer, etc. Essentially, your counselor, AIG, will be helping you, and they will be guiding you step by step on how to accept your offer once you make your payment, and how to book for your accommodation. Accommodation with UWA College, there is several options, but it depends on your age. If you're under 18, so 17 plus, you can only choose between on-campus accommodation or homestay. But if you're above 18, there's more options. You can stay at the apartments as well as city accommodation. So on-campus accommodation, it's usually our most popular option because you get to stay on campus. It's just within walking distance to your classroom, but they are the ones that always fill up very quickly because it's first come, first serve. It's not guaranteed. It depends on how early you secure your offer for that intake, and then you will be assigned to a room if it's available. So it's first come, first serve. There's also other two on-campus accommodation, which is the Trinity Residential College as well as St. Thomas. Okay, same thing between Uni Hall or St. Thomas or Trinity. They are on campus, but it depends on your age. Like St. Thomas is only for 18 plus, and Trinity is open for under 18 as well. Okay. And there's also purpose-built student accommodation in the city. Some students prefer to stay in the city because it's more convenient, just to hang out in city center, and it's more vibrant. And there's a free bus to go to UWA. You just have to travel via bus. But it's up to you whether you like to stay in the city campus or the on-campus accommodation because it's first come, first serve. There's also UWA College Rental Apartment. This is slightly further, but it's more affordable in terms of the fees. Okay. Just to give you an idea how big the rental apartment is. So this is a one-bedroom apartment. You have this whole space to yourself. And it's usually a double bed. It's very spacious for the rental apartment. So that's the apartment. And another option is actually homestay. Homestay is actually one of the most affordable options as well. And it really gives you a full Australian experience because you'll be staying with the Australia family. But for under 18 student, you can only choose between Uni Hall, Trinity, and homestay. So once on-campus accommodation is full, then homestay will be your other options. There will be academic support that will be provided by the UWA college team to make sure that you're on route or on track to progress into year one or from foundation to the degree. Okay, there will also be student service that will help you, that will look after you. Let's say if you are homesick or you need someone to speak to, there will be one-to-one session where staff member is ready to available to make appointment to just spend that hour or one-to-one session with you. You can speak about, if it's not related to academic, you can still speak to them about any issues that you have, and they will try their best to assist you or help you and support you. Okay. And yeah, pretty much that. So this is our survey, our most recent student experience survey. So 93% overall student satisfaction, not too bad. And 94% overall support, and learning about 88%. There is also scholarship that's available for all of you. That's up to 7,000 Aussie dollar that will be discounted to your tuition fees. And how to apply for this scholarship, you just need to let the AIG counselor know. Let's say if you're interested to apply to UWA College, you can just let them know and they will be able to submit the application for the scholarship. Okay, and that's all really for UWA College. Any questions so far that we have? May I know if UWA College accepts CEFR? Yes, B2 and above. So overall, we need B2. Let's say if your overall is B2, but just one of the band, it's B1, but your overall is still B2, we can still look into exceptions to accept the CEFR to waive the English requirement. So yes, we can accept CEFR. Okay.
Following that question would also There's another question.
Is there a Malaysian community and association that you can join? Yes, for our student, you can already join the university clubs and society, and there is Malaysia Society, which is very strong, it's quite a big community. We do get quite a lot of Malaysian students that study at UWA, so you will find your community there. Same for Singaporean, like out of Southeast Asia, actually globally, Malaysia and Singapore is the top 4 population. So Chinese will be the first, China Chinese, and then followed by Singapore and Malaysia and Vietnamese. Yeah, but there will also be nationality. This is for UWA college specifically in terms of the population cohort. So there will still be like, we do get South American, Middle East, basically very well diversified community. Okay. Any other question? Will there be an expiry to CEFR? Let's say, usually it's 5 years. So if it's last year, it's still acceptable. I heard that there's a Malaysia hall in Perth that would. We don't have a Malaysia hall that UWA would help because the accommodation that we help in terms of application, it's only to the on-campus accommodation and the city accommodation that partner with UWAC. Okay, and really it's better to opt for the UWA college managed accommodation. So anything happen, we can still intervene to help you, to support you. If you do want to stay off campus like by yourself, it's just a little bit more difficult for the team to intervene if there's any issue. Okay. All right.
There's one question directed to my end. Will the graduate certificate shows the major that the student selected at, in the bachelor degree?
Yes. So how does it work? Let me share. Maybe it's easier for you to understand in another presentation. 1 second. So it will show, first I will show you the I think AIG can also extend this to you, which is the brochure, the e-brochure, just to show you how many majors there is. For example, let me share with you my screen. 1 second. Okay, there we go. So let's say you are coming from SPM and you are interested to join the foundation. I can also show you what modules you'll be studying during your foundation. Now, this is your foundation program. It depends whether you are doing 8 months or 12 months. The number of subjects that you'll be studying is also different. Okay. On the right is your major. For example, because UWA, it's very highly ranked, some of the majors or some of the bachelor, you do need to get like very good grades. Let's say if you stay back in Malaysia and do A levels, for example, the difference is A levels is 2 years, whereas this foundation is only either 8 months or 12 months. So first, you save a lot of time. Another reason why you study, let's say if you are aiming to go Australia anyway and you want to go UWA, studying the foundation, for example, on the right side, you only need to meet the grades here, like 61 to 66, then you'll be able to progress to the first year. And in any event, let's say if you didn't do well for your average score, there will still be opportunity for retention. Let's say you receive for certain units, not all of it, just the units that you didn't do well. And just now in regards to the question that you asked, when you graduate, it depends whether which major you choose from. For example, Bachelor of Commerce, major in accounting. And just now I mentioned there's sometimes students do 2 majors. If you want to do a single major, that's fine, but there is also opportunity to do double major, which you will get, for example, Bachelor of Science, let me choose, Bachelor of Science Chemistry with another major like business, for example. So it'll be Bachelor of Science and then chemistry and business, something like that. I'll share with you another example shortly, like how, in terms of how the major, how the switching major works, and for another example, for example, in computer science. Okay, so there's a lot of majors to choose from, and depending on the major, let's say, for example, you want to do medicine. This foundation can also use to apply for medicine, but it's not a medicine foundation, okay? One thing to take note, you can actually apply, for example, biomedical science, anatomy, human biology as your backup major degree, and use the qualification to apply for medicine package assured pathway with UWA. Okay, I think there's a few questions in the chat box. Are the major options only within the same faculty? What about elective? Can it be different? Yes, you can choose elective from a completely different discipline. You can do music. It could be just a hobby for you. So you don't need to actually choose from the same faculty, especially for your elective. For your major, it depends which major, because like I mentioned just now, there is a specific professional degrees like engineering, Bachelor of Psychology, or Bachelor of Sports Science, that it's it's very comprehensive. They only offer students to have elective but not a second major. Okay. How's the living cost for students studying in UWA College? Just now I did show it's between 2,000 to 2,005, I would say, although I put there 1,007, but realistically speaking, it's around 2,000 to 2,005 per month. If you want to prepare for a week, it's so you divide by 4, but per month will be about 2,005. Okay. Is there scholarship automatic given regardless the result? Yes and no. Why do I mean by that is that if you're aiming at a higher scholarship like 7,000, essentially your grades have to be good. But by saying that, let's say if your grades are average species, you will still get a small token like a reward, encouragement. You'll still get between 3,000 or 5,000. Okay, you will still get a certain scholarship. It's not automatic. Your counselor will put in a request for the application. I plan to do degree like vocational courses. Okay, so UWA, because they are very research-based university. So as you can see here, the majors that they offer, it's quite, it's more towards STEM degree. So not sure what vocational courses you're planning to do, but you can have a look at the majors that we offer here. Okay. Is UEC accepted by the diploma program? Very good question. I did not include UEC, but UEC is accepted for diploma entry, which is equivalent to the first year. So same thing, diploma. If you are, I think I did include in the diploma entry requirement. Let me just re-show you my slide. So for UEC student, depending on your grades, you will be able to join either the 8 months diploma program or the 12 months diploma program. So let's say we are also accepting UEC Form 5 equivalent. Okay, so let me go to diploma. So this is it. To answer your question, UEC, you need 18 score or 16 score, similar to like when you receive your UEC, normally there is like A1, A2, B3, B4, C5, C6, something like that. So that will be the score. It will be calculated with the best 4 subjects, best 4 or best 5 subjects. Okay. If my SPM maths is bad, can I study for computer science? I would need to know what is bad. Bad, like, is it a D or an F? So it's case by case basis. You can still submit to give it a try for special case review. So let's say, for example, if your English is really good and your other academic subjects is good, your overall score do meet the requirement, we can still look into it. Okay. Can we package English course with CEFR if I didn't meet B2? So let's say if you don't get a B2, then you will need to sit for an English test then only you can package, depending on your IELTS grade, then only we can see whether what's the duration of the English course you need. In short, you will still need to sit for the IELTS first, because in order to know how long the English program assigned to you, it should be based on IELTS, not CEFR. So if you didn't meet B2, you need to sit for IELTS first. Then from IELTS grade, we will know whether you need an English course or if you don't need an English course, okay? Very, very good questions.
Thank
All
you
of
so much, Carlo. I think it's very comprehensive and it's very clear as well. Thank you so much for the session. Oh, and if there's still any more questions, maybe we will give it another minute for you to ask any question. And if in any case, if you have like further questions or you want to go ahead and start applying for UWA College, do reach out to our counselors. And in case if you haven't been in touch with our counselors, I would like to share my screen here with the contact number. If you can have a look here, this is the WhatsApp number that you should reach out to if you haven't been in touch with any of our counselors. But if you have already been in touch with the counselors, do talk to him or her and start your journey. And hopefully we will see you someday in Australia, especially in Perth as well. Have you been to Perth before, Carl? Just a casual chat between the two of us.
Actually, I've not, because I've been to Melbourne and Sydney, but because I've only joined the college like 2 years, and in fact UWA College is very new to into, as you know. They previously they weren't on campus and they revamped the whole program. So I'm due to go, but hopefully by this year. Yeah.
Great, great, great. To be honest, I have been in Australia for 20 plus years, and I have never been to Perth before.
Yeah.
But I heard it's a very pretty city, and a lot of Sabahan. I'm from Sabah myself. A lot of Sabahan in Perth. So
Yeah.
if there's any Sabahan in today's session, hopefully we'll see you there.
We get a lot of East Malaysians
A lot.
because it's really, like I say, it's a very holistic degree. You get the best of both worlds. You get a high rank university qualification. At the same time, you pay for a very more cost-effective price, like a cost. So yeah, it's very, and also because I don't know, like East Malaysia just do a lot better. We do still get like students from KL as well as Penang. Yeah, so those are some of the
I
regions
think
that
it's a
popular.
culture. The culture is very similar to
Similar, yep.
it's very similar to Sabah.
People as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. A lot more friendlier because I live
And
in
slower pace, yeah.
and slower pace. Yes, exactly. Very chill, very relaxed.
Very chill, yep.
Yeah, and you get to sit by the water and spend a whole afternoon by the water as well. So this is the lifestyle in Perth, and I
Yeah.
think maybe some of you will enjoy it. I do think I will enjoy it someday. I live in Sydney, and I think I've never been to Perth, but I have been to other cities in Australia, and the dynamic is very different. So I do believe like Perth should be a lot more friendly here in that sense.
Yes, my colleague was telling me like when she first arrived at the college, like in the lift, like people will just speak to you because for Malaysians, sometimes we are very scared. Is it a scam? Is it a like, you know? But
Yeah.
it's just they are very friendly. That's why they check how was your day, like just a random chat. And then like they will like if you are asking for direction, they will bring you to that place instead of, you know, guiding you, pointing you, but they will. So it's just, yeah, very nice.
Exactly. So I used to study in Australia as well, like 20 years ago. So when I
You look so young.
no, I'm sorry.
You look like
I hope, I hope, I
Okay.
hope. Yeah, I've been here for 20 plus years. So 20 years ago when I was still a student in uni, so a lot of people from West Malaysia actually got shocked when they came to Sydney because I felt like, oh, what, how come these people are so friendly? I still remember like being on a bus with my friend from KL and he keeps telling me like, why is everyone being so friendly? So
Yeah.
just letting you all know, you will get a little bit of a culture shock, but it's actually very nice to be in this environment as well, where everyone talks to everyone like like your friend, like your neighbor as well. Anyway, I think there isn't any more question, and I'm so grateful that everyone stays while we are chatting about Australia. And hopefully we will see you here. And again, once again, thank you so much, Carlyle, for the
I think
very
there's
compre-
two questions.
questions. Oh, okay, great.
Is it easy to buy halal food? Yes, because we do get good numbers of Middle East students and Muslim students. There's also on campus surau, and there is so if you are looking for halal certified restaurant, there is available. It's just more limited, but there's pork free restaurant because they serve alcohol but they don't serve pork, for example. Yeah. And the next question is, if I want to proceed to study, if I need to pay any fee before I get the offer letter? No, you can apply first. And you once you get the offer letter and you apply, you get the scholarship and you work out the whole total cost, only when you're very sure that you're going to UWA college, then you pay the deposit, because you do need to pay a certain fee, like the tuition fees, in order to get a document called COE, in order for you to apply for the visa, because the immigration office is very strict. You do need to make a certain payment to show that you are a genuine student, that you are going to study at UWA college, but you don't need to pay anything for application at application stage. You can get the offer letter first. So contact AIG, okay?
Again, I share the contact number here on the screen again, like for one last time. In case if you haven't been in touch with any of our counselors, do reach out to this number. But if you have already been speaking to one of our counselors, do continue to talk to him or her and start planning your journey to Australia. And again, there isn't any application fees or any upfront fees when you apply. So do feel free to plan it out and don't worry about like applying. Do go ahead and try, and we will go from there. All right. Thank you so much. It's very comprehensive. Once again, thank you so much for today's session. I think it's very informative. A lot of our students might be benefited from this session. And thank you. Thank you everyone for attending the session as well.